Alrighty, AP Stats, Quideo Chapters 3 and 4, by me, Alex Roy. The basic problem. So right here you're given a bunch of values of which you would put into your calculator for L1 and L2. And one of them is the time in minutes, and one of them is the pulse in beats per minute. Next, here for part A, you would verify that a linear model appropriately models the data, and state the equation of the linear model, of which then you would get that from your calculator. Then for B, you are given the next day's time of 34.3 minutes, and you are to predict the professor's pulse rate. You would input 34.3 into the equation, and you would get 147.39, which is close to the actual value, 152. Now for C, you're told that supposedly you're told the pulse rate is only 152, and you want to predict the swimming time. So you would find the least squares regression line from your calculator, and you would predict using that equation, of which then you would plug in 152 for x, because you would be reversing the values, and you would then calculate that in your calculator, and the value that you would get is 34.38, which is close to the actual time, which is 34.3 minutes. And then for D, you are to explain clearly to someone who knows no statistics why there are two different regression lines. The first regression line, which is linear regression, acts as a guide for the dataset, while the least squares regression line serves as an accurate prediction of the dataset. Now here we have the advanced problem, of which you were given a bunch of data in the table, and you were given the y-intercept and the capacity, which can also be called the slope of the dataset. Then for part A, you are to write a regression equation, of which you'll put y equals 18.62 plus 103.93 times x. Then for part B, you're to explain the meaning of the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope of 103.93 means that the regression is positive, and the y-intercept provides a starting point for the price as the storage space goes up. Now for part C, you're supposed to predict the price of a 3 terabyte drive, of which you then plug in 3 for x, and that'll get you $330.41. Now for part D, Shaheen found a 3 terabyte hard drive for $300, and according to my regression equation, this is a good buy because it is underneath $330.41. And since it's under, at $300, it's a pretty good buy. Now, for the AP problem. Here you were given a graph with 22 points, of which they are 22 out of 25 points which are graphed because there are duplicates of the points. You are also given the least squares regression line. Now for part A, you are to draw the least squares regression line onto the graph, and you can do that by plotting a few points and then drawing a line through them. And for part B, you are given a set of coordinates. You are to find that point and draw a line from it to the least squares regression line. Now for part C, for part B, you're to find the residual, of which that will get you 2.7, and since it's below, it'll be negative 2.7. Now for part C, you're given another point, and if it was added to the data set, would the slope increase, decrease, whatever? It would remain about the same because it's really close to the line. It wouldn't affect the data set. And for D, you're asked would the correlation increase, decrease, or remain about the same? Correlation would increase due to the point being very close to the regression line.
Created using Powtoons.